or 15,
No,
20 years ago?
no, I had him 4 years ago. 3 years ago I had it. So no, it's just that, there's so many things coming at them. There's so much more information. There's so much more. They want to live up to what's being written and said. Where before there wasn't all this stuff. But like I said, this is, and I'll say this, not just my team. There's a lot of teams out there in the same position our team is.
How delicate a balance is it?
South Carolina, trash talking the team.
What's that?
What are your feelings about South Carolina trash talking the team, saying that they could play the Cats anytime, any day, and beat us? Basically saying that they were better. What are your feelings about that letter that they sent?
I didn't see any letter.
You wanted to forward it too.
The great thing is you go on that basketball court and you play the ball game. So if it was out there in the public, my team read it or saw it.
They've seen it.
John, you called the Vandy game an Elite Eight atmosphere. With a team this young, does a lesson like that carry over?
Well, I liked their desire to win the game and do whatever they had to do down the stretch. But we did some stuff down the stretch. We should have put them away, and we gave them a chance. And so there are things we have to learn from it. But the environment, the physicalness of the game, a team that will grind it out and say, we don't care if we win 42-40. We just want to win. That's the NCAA tournament. You're not worried about score or blowing people out. You're worried about advancing. And that's why I said it. I thought we had both teams playing the same way. Let's win the game. Let's do what we have to try to win.
John, you'd expressed some regret, obviously, in that game about that late timeout. Aside from that, though, just the general strategy of timeouts. I know coaches use them different ways. How do you like to use them? Do you like to hold on to them till the end? Do you want players to call on?
In most cases, I don't need to interject myself for my own ego. So if I don't have to call timeouts, I don't call them. If I interject myself, I'm also interjecting the other coach. So if we know what we're doing in practice and we've run it, I'll make a call and we do it. I'll call it at the free throw line. I'd rather go home with 4 timeouts. That being said, this team needs me to be more involved than any team I've coached probably in the last 5 years. So as you've watched the last few games, I've had to call timeouts. And I've done it. I'll do that. Early in my career when I wanted to watch me coach, I called a lot of timeouts. Timeout! And I went out there and showed them the board. I'm going to write up a play. Watch the genius that I am. I used to do that, but after you get older and you think what you think. I don't want to interject myself if I don't need to. If I have to, I will. The last timeout that I called, again, you're making decisions within 7 or 8 seconds. This isn't like, okay, let's really think this through, and let's go for 5 minutes and say, what would I do? You're talking about 7, 8 seconds. Boom, what are you going to do? So if he would have made the first free throw, I was going to tell him to miss the second. Now, by missing the second, they would have had 1 or 2 dribbles and a half-court heave. But what if that banked in and we lost the game? You all would have said, well, the worst we could have done is a tie. Why didn't you let him make it? Okay? But if he missed it, you'd have called me a genius, okay? When he missed the first, then I was going to call a timeout if he made it. But as he started to get the ball, I'm thinking, if I was going to have him miss the first, I might as well have him miss. What's the difference in losing by 2 or 1? If he makes it, you lose by 2 now. But maybe they go and dribble and throw it ahead and they get a 2-pointer off, so I call a timeout. The reason I thought timeout is I wanted to put a big guy on the ball. These guys are young, but after I called it, I said I should have never called it. Now, he had a timeout. Now let me give you the other situation. So they get a great shot off, and they miss it. So now people argue, Cal, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. I'm coaching against Kansas, and there's about 11 seconds left, and we're going to be up 3. My guy's at the foul line. They foul out a guy. I'm going to give you the situation. My team's in front of me. I said, if he makes this, we are going to foul at half court. If he makes the second shot, we're going to be up 3. We're going to foul at half court. The reason we can't foul earlier, guys, because we can't make free throws. And if we foul earlier, there's going to be too many possessions left, and we're going to have to go make free throws, and we'll lose in regulation. So foul at half court. If they do any kind of other thing, we'll switch. We come out. The other coach has no timeouts left. So I don't want to interject him, so I already talked about it. We know what we're going to do. I don't call a timeout. We can't foul him at half court. He gets away. There's a handoff. A ball goes over. Now listen, it went over my guy's hand by that much. He almost blocked it. It hit the light, went through a rafter and went in. Why didn't he call a timeout? He had a timeout. You win, you were a genius. If you lose, you should have done the other thing. That's how this stuff is.
And that's